Hello, everyone. This is Willie Summit III, founder of RightTouch Solutions. Welcome back to the RightTouch Rundown, your weekly dose of operational strategy and nonprofit clarity. This is the final part on our series on board development and governance that works. So far in this series, we covered how to move from a founder-led organization to functional-led organization, getting people tied to the function and missions, not the people. And then the second part was why term limits and succession plans protect your board's longevity. And last week, we talked about how onboarding sets your members up for success. That's what we really want. Today, we're going to finish up with one of the toughest realities of governance, and that is how to have hard conversations without creating chaos. Because let's be honest, governance isn't a theory that I just made up. It is people all the time. It is actual people doing actual work with actual emotions tied to each and everything. And if you're leading a board, conflict is going to show up because we're dealing with people. The question is, and it becomes, how will you handle it? A core message I want you to really think about as we're talking today is conflict on a board is not a sign of failure. Please, leaders, if there is conflict on your board, that does not mean you're a bad leader. It is actually a good thing. It means that you have an environment full of diversity of thought, diversity of experience, diversity of views, diversity of scope. Think about it. If everyone was always on the same page, you might as well have that meeting by yourself. This is a sign of humanity at its finest. The problem isn't that the hard conversations come up or they happen. The problem is when they're avoided, mishandled, or turned into personal attacks. Healthy boards do not eliminate tension, they navigate through it with structure. So, as always, let's talk about what happens without healthy dialogue. When tough topics are ignored, the surface may look calm, but underneath, frustration is a bubbling and a brewing because issues have been buried. Board members may nod in agreement during meetings, but then there's going to be a venting session in the group chat afterwards. I used to call it the board meeting after the board meeting. And I'm going to be honest, in my early days of boards, I have been guilty of it myself. And I may be guilty now, but that's not my business. Over time, this creates those factions, those silos, erodes trust, and makes it harder to tackle the very problem you are trying to avoid or handle. Remember, my friends, silence does not mean all the time. It is usually a little bit of frustration in disguise. Also, without healthy dialogue, meetings turn personal. Without ground rules and clear boundaries set up front, disagreements about an issue will quickly shift into judgment of a person. You move from talking about this decision to this person. So instead of debating, should we expand our programming? The conversation slides easily into, you're always blocking progress. Now we are personal. And we all know once things get personal, collaboration goes out the door because people have stopped listening and they're ready to defend. Because what you're not going to do. So make sure those relationships don't fracture and members don't get disengaged. Not because of the issue itself, but because they don't feel valued, they don't feel respected, and they do not feel that the culture has been extended to them. Lastly, without healthy dialogue, the mission suffers. Every minute a board spends stuck in unresolved tensions is a minute that is spent advancing the mission. It's a minute spent not advancing the mission, resulting in organizational stall. Whether you know it or not, whether you intend to or not, people do notice. Think about it. No matter how much Glade you spray, people know what you did in that bathroom. Donors will pick up on a dysfunction. Volunteers and staff will feel the lack of misalignment. And opportunities will get missed because energy is tied up in drama instead of decision making. A board that cannot have tough conversations, no matter what they are, even if it's what pens to use. If you cannot have those conversations effectively, you become a board that will not progress. I implore you, my friends, to not let your energy get drained on drama instead of driving impact. Now, Willie, don't leave us without any tools. Don't you worry. I will never. So here are 3 tools, 3 tips, 3 keys, whatever you want to call them. You know I love my threes. To having good conversations without the chaos. Number 1, bring clarity to the issues before the meeting. Don't blindside people. Y'all know how much I can't stand that. Share context ahead of time so everyone comes prepared. You are the framer of the conversation. Structure the issue in organizational, not personal terms. You need an example? No problem. Give me a quick second. You keep missing deadlines. Don't say that because that's personal. Instead, let's try our grant reporting deadlines are being missed, and if we need to adjust how we manage them. You see there? No I's, U's are in there at all. Talking about the organization at all. This removes the perception that the conversation is aimed at one person, even if it is, but on the organization as a whole, because we're all working for the organization. Also, the way the sentence is structured, it opens up that door and the floor for conversations on remedies and solutions. So we all can go back and forth and think about it as a think tank, which will be handled as a group, which is what you want. Number 2, use a structured process in the room. So we've already decided that we're going to send it out ahead of time, give people ahead of time notice. Now, let's make sure we have a facilitator appointed. It could be a board chair, a governance lead committee, neutral third party, a committee lead. Don't really matter. As long as somebody's appointed, because someone has to guide the discussion and keep it balanced. Without a facilitator, we have imbalance, like maybe a louder voice that'll dominate the quiet ones, forcing them to withdraw, and then there's another conflict. Now my voice is not being heard. So the facilitator must ensure that all voices are heard and no one disengages. You need to notice when somebody hasn't said anything in a while, but you know they have a passion for it. Establish those ground rules and make sure you keep it consistent throughout. Stay on topic, no interruptions, focus on the mission. These rules keep the heat aimed at the issue, not the people. If we want to get high tensions, let's get high tensions on solution building, not high tensions on a personal attack. They also give everyone a shared framework to fall back on. So when tensions build, we know, hold on, we do it this way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in steps. Passions are going to arise. As I said at the top of the video, we're people. We're dealing with people. So there will be times when passions arise. But if you set the ground rules earlier in your governance structure, the facilitator will be able to keep things on track by reminding. I know all of us were in grade school and we had those class rules. What Miss Smith say? You better check them rules. I'm a kid of the 80s. You better check them rules because something coming at your face. Give space for each voice, but keep the discussion moving forward. Resolution. Keep it chugging forward. The balance is hearing every perspective, then helping the group land all those perspectives into a decision and next steps. But really, why do we need to do that? The why is simple. Structure turns a potentially chaotic argument into a focused dialogue, and we love a good dialogue, that actually strengthens the board instead of splintering it out. Lastly, number 3, close the loop, but do it with respect. Summarize each discussion, each decision, and next steps so no one is left out in limbo. I thought we agreed to this, or, oh, I thought he said that. What was said again? No, they couldn't have said that because I was there. Oh, Lord, I don't remember. To keep all that away, when people walk away from a meeting with different understandings, walk away from a discussion with different perceptions, the conflict will resurface at the next meeting. So now you are forced to add an additional topic to an already jam-packed session because we all know board meetings never have enough space for everything, but we're also not trying to be there forever. So clarity up front will ensure alignment later on. I want you to reaffirm those relationships. Thank your members for engaging. Thank your board for engaging. Thank your volunteers for engaging, even when it was tough. This will disarm and remind everyone that disagreements can happen, but it does not mean we have to be disconnected. Keep follow-up private when appropriate, but keep it consistent. A private check-in or written recap from time to time is cool. It signals that the issue is being handled and settled, the process was fair, and everyone's voice mattered. Trust me, it is all right to take things offline. I know we hate those nomenclatures and corporate terms, but take it offline. If the discussion is really just a few people that need to have a little bit more conversation, take it offline because there are 14 other people on this board that are now stuck twiddling thumbs while you're wasting time. It is all right. Again, take that offline. Now, quick bonus because, it's episode 4 in the series. Got to be a bonus. Hard conversations aren't just for crises. So don't think you're only going to have hard conversation when things are tough or sticky. No, they're also about healthy accountability, addressing underperformance, clarifying roles, resetting expectations when things drift away. All those can end up being sticky, but when you have a framework, you're ready for it. Because boards that normalize respectful conflict, they build more trust, not less. When people know that they can have a discussion, that may be heated, but they will also feel valued, they will feel heard, they'll feel respected, they will continually be engaged, they will continue sharing, and most important, they will continue showing up. Woo! 4 parts, friends. We did it. Our final thoughts for today is your board doesn't need to fear conflict. I want you all to lean in with your shoulders ready to get that conflict together. Handled well, hard conversations sharpen clarity, they strengthen those relationships, and they keep the mission moving because that is the main goal, keeping that mission and vision moving for those you are serving. Because when structure guides the dialogue, you'll replace chaos with clarity. You'll replace tension with trust. And you will replace foolishness with understanding. Now, as always, I thank you all for tuning in to the RightTouch Rundown. We have finished all 4 parts of this arc on board development and governance that actually works. And I'm so excited you hung out with me for all these episodes. If you missed a few, feel free to go on back and check them out. As I say all the time, this is your YouTube channel. You can check it out now, next week, next year. But I do ask, if this episode helped you think differently about navigating tough board conversations, like it, share this video, and subscribe. Don't you gatekeep. And if your organization needs support developing those governance processes, facilitating tools, or conflict resolution strategies, you already know where to go. RightTouchSolutions.com. And as always, my friends, remember, mission moves best with structure. I'll catch you next time.